Okay, Sana, we are ready.
Thank you, Marwa. Welcome, everyone. And on behalf of the Education USA Network, thank you for joining us today. My name is Sana, and my colleague Marwa are the Education USA advising team for the West Bank. A special welcome to our guest speaker, Sumitra Kugel, Chief Officer, Global Outreach at the University of California, Davis School of Law. Before I give the floor to our guest speaker, Education USA advisors Amira and Ilham will introduce themselves and provide a quick overview of Education USA and our services for those of you who are joining us for the first time. Thank you. Amira, Ilham?
Yes, Amira, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, hi, I'm Amira, the Education USA advisor for Libya. Ilham, yours?
I'm Ilham, welcome everyone. So I'm the Education USA advisor for Tunisia. For any questions, please write your questions in the chat box or live on Facebook on our pages, and we'll make sure to answer them. So so just a quick overview on Education USA. So we are a U.S. Department of State network of over 430 advising centers in more than 180 countries. So you just need to go ahead and check our educationusa.state.gov and find your center and connect with your advisor for more questions. So yes, Marwa, please. So what we do and what we offer, we promote U.S. higher education around the world by offering free services and free information about educational institutions in the U.S. We also ensure center group information sessions. We give you individual consultations, pre-departure orientation before going to the U.S. We also ensure outreach sessions at schools, universities, youth centers, and American spaces. That was before the COVID situation, but we are making sure that we do this virtually now. We can also ensure college fairs and national educational and cultural events. We facilitate visits by U.S. higher education representatives, and we are also present in virtual sessions and webinars. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much, Ilham, for the introduction about Education USA. And now we're going to go quickly over the 5 steps that every student has to go through with Education USA too. So as you can see in this slide, the first step is to research your options. So when searching for a college or university in the US, it is important to first decide what is important for you. And there are more than 4,000 accredited universities in the US. So as you begin to search for a US college, and as you begin to narrow down your choices, you should think about the school type, the major, the region, the setting, the housing, campus life, and so on. Once you finish with that step, you have to go to the second step, which is to finance your studies. So the cost of the programs in the US are very different. So as you work to develop a budget for your studies, keep in mind that the overall costs are comprised of tuition, fees, and living expenses. You can get a scholarship as you can finance your own studies. Then the third step is to submit your application. In this step, you just need to submit the required documents to the colleges that you selected. And once you move to the next step, which is to apply for the student visa. So once you receive an admission from a US college, you can begin the visa application process, and you would have to pay your civis fee and schedule your visa interview. And then the fifth step, which is to prepare for your departure, you will have to attend a pre-departure orientation, which are offered by Education USA advising centers to students making final preparations to go to study in the United States. Next slide, please. Thank you so much. So if you'd like to learn more information about the financial aid opportunities and the special aid for international students, of course, you have to visit our official website, which is educationusa.state.gov. The next slide. Okay, and the same if you'd like to get more updates about studying in the US, again, you have to visit our official website, which is educationusa.state.gov. Thank you. And you can follow us on different social media platforms. So just type the name of your center, example, Education USA Libya or Tunisia or West Bank. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even YouTube. So again, thank you so much for joining us today and prepare your questions. Now I'm going to turn it over to our guest speaker.
Hi, everybody. Just give me a second to share my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. My name is Sumitra Kugel, and I'm with University of California, Davis School of Law. I truly appreciate this opportunity to talk to everybody today in MENA region. And I especially really thankful for Education USA officers in that region make this event possible. So huge thank you. So today I'm going to talk about how to find the best LLM program for you. So in the US, so I'm going to give a general overview about some tips and kind of the overall, when you think about what students go through overall, if they wanted to find a master's program in law in the US. So, and then I'm happy to answer any questions at the end. So please type your questions in the chat box and we'll go through that later. So let's talk about degrees offered in the US. What are the law degrees offered in the US? This may be a little different compared to your own country, but in the US, everybody, all the students after they graduated from high school, if they wanted to become a lawyer, first they have to get an undergraduate degree. A 4-year undergraduate degree. It can be any area of study. It can be biology, chemistry, it can be math, music, political science, international development, any major. There's no restrictions. So after that undergraduate program, 4 years, they, if they want to go to school, they apply, they take a standardized examination called LSAT, and then they interview with law schools. And then the law degree, it's a 3-year itself. So the 4 + 3, it's a 7-year long degree. So you can see that in the first column, I have Juris Doctor. So I'm not sure in your countries that you call a lawyer a doctor, but because of the 7 years of education, we consider a first law degree as a graduate degree in the US. So that's where the JD come from. So just to give you a little bit of a general overview. And then if students want to further study, mostly a master's degree that we offer, US universities offer 1 to 2 year LLM programs. Some universities may do just 1 year LLM program. Some maybe do just a 2-year program, or some universities like my university, the UC Davis School of Law, we do a 1 or 2 year LLM program. So the LLM program, the audience, mostly international lawyers. So these students can be recent graduates, or some students can be like years of practicing lawyers, like 5 years, 10 years. So we are trying to always attract students from different points in their career. And so the next law degree you can get in the US, it's either SJD or PhD. So this is mainly the domestic US students apply for these programs, or foreign lawyers apply, or scholars. These programs are like, just like any other PhD, can be like a 3 to 5 years or more longer, depending on your the research interest or how you pace the program. And the PhD, like a lot of PhD candidates, they end up teaching or they wanted to be a researcher. So these are the 3 types of law degrees that the US offer. So let's talk about how to become a licensed practitioner in the US. That means how to become, if you are a practicing lawyer or a law student in your country, how, if you wanted to come to US, how to become a lawyer in the US. So that may be a question maybe wondering in your mind right now. So I can give you kind of a like the simple answer for you. So in the US, we, as you maybe already know, we have 50 different states. Each state have its own constitution, government structure, legal codes, and judiciary system. So it's very, very state oriented. So if you wanted to become a lawyer, you have to pass the bar examination, just like maybe in your country, maybe the same. But in the US, it's not one bar examination for the whole country. It's a very like a state oriented. That means the lawyers have to know the state laws and things like that. So that's why it's a US is a big country. So that's why we have this legal system or the bar examination specific for each state. If somebody wanted to practice, they have to take the specific bar. So I wanted to give you today this link. It's very important if you're really even kind of thinking about to practice law in the US. This is a really good website. This is a comprehensive guide to bar admissions. And this update annually. So even if you're not ready right now, I would recommend you write down or take a picture of this slide. This may be beneficial for you in the future. So this is kind of the process for the to become a licensed practitioner. That means practicing law in the US. So the education. So you have to have a legal education background for you to give the bar. And the most of our foreign lawyers, what they do a LLM program, and then these law schools in the US, they prepare them for the bar, help them prepare. Like for example, in my law school, most of the students are taking, of course, California bar, because my law school is located in California. So the law schools, part of the LLM program, they provide that support preparing students for the bar examination. Even if you go to law school in California, if you want to take the New York bar, it is possible to do that. So just let me actually try to share my full screen.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not sure why I'm not able to. I think I may have to reshare. I don't think I can. I'm sorry.
You can press on one of the buttons at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I am doing the F. Okay, let's see.
Yes, this one.
Yeah, can you see better?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so great. So that's kind of the education portion of the bar examination. So you have to be prior qualified and have a legal education, and your degree needed to be qualified for a specific bar. So most of our students go through our LLM program. Because of the LLM program, they do qualify for the bar. So the second part of it, it's actually taking the bar examination. So it's given twice per year, and it's a two-day long process. And then in addition to bar examination, students have to do PRA, that's a multiple choice examination, and then the character and fitness, and then pro bono that they have to kind of show that. So, we are not going to spend too much time talking about the bar examination, but I just wanted to kind of let you all know how to become the short version of how to become a lawyer in the US, practicing lawyer, if you're an international a lawyer right now or a law student. So again, this is the comprehensive guide. I highly recommend that you check the website or read this when the time is right for you if you're pursuing something like that. Okay, so the next question, that education part of the legal education, the LLM, how should you choose your school? Good question, because we have like hundreds of law schools in the US. So these are some of the things to consider. I put together this list. It's some of the things that that you may not really think about, but I want you to know faculty play a huge role. So when you consider picking, choosing a law school, look at the faculty profiles. So every law school website, I'm pretty sure they have a section for faculty. So you can click that and check that, are there professors in this law school that have same interests as me if I'm the student? And are there research interests, or have they done publications that interest to me? And are they like professors who are diverse? And so when you read their bios as a law student or law professional, you may have a good idea, is that a good fit for you? And then also the many law school websites, they talk about their alumni success. They may have alumni profiles and student testimonials. I think it's very important for you to kind of check it out and see what are the other success stories. And also one of the most important thing, support services for students. Is this law school have a career service? Is this law school help me with my arrival? So always kind of think, one of my tip always for students, that if you email the law school and if you haven't heard back from them for weeks, not a quick 1 to 2 day answers, you can kind of see that how the support for students working out. So those are kind of little bit, you can see their services towards students. And also reputation. Have you heard of this law school or this university system before? And ranking. The ranking that most students look at, US News school ranking, and then but just wanted to let you know, ranking is not everything. So most of the law schools, they do rank by LLM program, sorry, JD programs, not LLM program. So that's something to keep in mind, because when you see a ranking that, oh, this school is law school is ranked number 10, so you really wanted to go because they're top 10. But for LLM program, that may not really relevant. But actually, it's okay to look at the ranking, but just think about, this is for their JD program. Most of the law schools are ranked these days. Yeah, and a little bit, one more thing about ranking. So it's people misunderstand, or the students misunderstand this often. So people think, okay, the Harvard, that's like a very well-known, highly ranked university. But if you wanted to study agriculture, for example, Howard may be not a good fit, even though they're ranked highly. So I just wanted to kind of give you, just be open-minded about when you think about ranking or looking at ranking in the US. So I just talked about a little bit about faculty, but think about it's not just the faculty bios and publications, but also think about how accessible the faculty at this specific law school. Can you approach by email and get an answer really quickly? Can they give you their personal phone number, and can you text back and forth? And this is very common in the US, that the professors do give students, if they're comfortable with, their phone number and say, text me if you have any questions or any other methods that they like to connect with. Or they may have office hours and the professors are there during the office hours waiting for students. So those are kind of the things very important, because faculty is a huge part of your, especially your graduate education, because they may able to involve you in the projects they're working on. It could be a research project, they're publishing a paper, and maybe you can work with them and be like a second author or third author. So, or present at a conference with your professor. So those are all the opportunities. So that's why I'm stressing that faculty is an important part, and when you're looking for a LLM program. So also, it's good to look at which kind of LLM program the specific law school offering. So what does that mean? At UC Davis School of Law, we offer a general LLM program, and then there are like 10 different areas you can specialize in. So if you are interested in business law, to be specialized, you don't have to be specialized, but if you wanted to specialize, it's good for you to make sure that that specialization is available at the law schools you're looking at. I always recommend students that kind of narrow down a short list of law schools for you to apply, because there's hundreds of them and you can narrow down a few. So let's see. And also just think about, are you planning to take the bar examination? Is the bar preparation offered? If you're planning to take the bar examination in the US, of course, you needed to ask that question, that university, the law school offering bar preparation. And also these days, students ask me this question kind of more, I get this more frequently. Students ask about, can we do a JD program? So for JD, that the process, just like I said earlier, for domestic student, you have to have an undergraduate degree, and then you apply to JD program, and then you take the standardized test, and then you interview, and then you get into a JD program. Sounds very complicated. So, but with LLM, some universities, some law schools, they do offer a program called LLM to JD transfer. That means you come to us as an LLM student, and then you successfully doing your program, and then you tell your interest to advisor, or I maybe wanted to get a JD degree. So at that point, it is possible, at least at UC Davis School of Law, without taking the standardized examination, LSAT, you can transfer to, as long as you have a good GPA, the courses you're doing at the LLM program, you can transfer. So if you hear transfer to JD program, that is what that means. And UC Davis do that, and then other law schools in the US may do that too. So if that's something interests to you, that's something to keep in mind to ask from the law schools you're checking out. And also, do you want a 1-year program or 2-year program? Again, it's depend on your need. And of course, the 1-year program is a lot cheaper compared to a 2-year program. It's double, almost double the expenses. But some students want to take more courses, so they end up doing a 2-year program. And UC Davis School of Law, we do offer both type of programs. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind, just like I said earlier, the JD, the degree, it's mostly domestic student attending the JD program. So that there are LLM and JD programs are integrated or not is some law schools, it is integrated, some are not. So a lot of my experience, many international lawyers or international law students, they may feel they wanted to have that experience learning with American students. So, so this is what does that mean? So if a program is integrated, that means you get to take classes with the JD students, and there might be a lot of American students, so you can make friendships and you can have a more richer conversation that that if you wanted to know more, because they are coming from more a legal background from the US. So you may have a much like a richer experience if you wanted to learn more about the legal system in the US. And this is kind of a professional experience also. So let's move to the next slide. Also, just a note about when you're selecting a law school, you should think about are these law schools offer a student association and enrichment activities like guest lectures, conferences, that opportunities for you to grow as a legal professional. So it's good for you to just keep in mind. Sorry, take a little bit delay for me to move to the next slide. So, and student life, that's another part. That is, this law school offer housing for students. So you may come by yourself or you may have a family. So are they are they on campus housing or off campus housing? Are they family housing? So those are the kind of things for you to think about when you think about like you move into US and or your family move into US. And if you are want like a recreational, like you wanted to play sports, are there any possibilities for that? I think most law schools do have, but if you have a special interest, that I think it's good for you to look at student life. I'm sure these law school websites do have a section in their website, student life. So also, if you're planning to move with your family and children, make sure it's a safe environment and it's family-oriented community, and there are good schools for your kids if you're planning to come with your kids. And also, is it a big city, small town? how the weather look like. So those are all the things for you to think about. Okay, the cost and funding. The law schools can be, the tuition can be a different range in the US. It can be, I can't speak for the law schools, but I know that it is different from one law schools to another law school, the tuition. So it's really important for you to think about your own budget. So I would really recommend that after you kind of did some research, when you narrow down, I would say like 3 to 4 law schools, that you kind of do like an Excel sheet and then maybe put all the tuition and then see what's your own budget and what can you afford. So that's very, there's kind of no point that adding law schools to that, your short list, that it is impossible for you to come up with the funding for those very high dollar amount of the tuition law schools. So that's another very important thing. And also the funding, how are you going to provide funding? Is that your personal funds, your family going to pay for it, or your government have scholarships for you? And at the same time, is the law school offer any scholarships and funding? And I saw one of the questions in the chat box. So I think I can talk about just help that student answer the question. Yes, law schools do have scholarships and funding. I can speak for UC Davis School of Law. A good thing about our scholarship process, when you apply to our law school, that every single application we consider for our scholarships. So you don't have to have a separate application or anything like that. So it's nice because it's less paperwork for you to do. So we look at your application holistically, your personal statement, recommendation letters, everything, and we consider your application for admission and then for scholarships. And if we offer admission to you, at kind of the same time, you will learn about how much scholarship money you have been awarded. So that's about scholarships. And then also some law schools want for you to maybe pay for like a whole year at one time. And I know at my law school, we do have 2 different installments that you can pay tuitions. So those are the questions for you to ask when you're going through this process, researching and asking questions from their admission officers. Okay. Okay. So again, this is a picture of one of our law school classes. And we do have, in our law school, we don't practice traditional lecture method. So students are asked to prepare for their assignments and reading. I mean, they will given reading assignments before the first day of the law school. So students needed to come prepare, and it's very classroom interaction heavy, and you take classes with the JD students. And then it's more a discussion based on a learning method. So just to kind of give you an idea how the academics work. And Also, I just wanted to give you this tool if you have not heard of Elsac. This is a very important website, and this is where you, if you wanted to narrow down law schools you're going to apply, this is a one place that instead of going for multiple different websites, this is a one place like by location you can search. So this is like a searching or admission tool for law students. So if you want to take a picture of this or write down, this will come handy later that when you're applying for LLM programs. And you could submit your application through this website too for multiple law schools. But of course, there is the application fee. But UC Davis School of Law, if you apply directly to us, there's no application fee. So that's something to remember, that when you apply for multiple law schools, it can get costly, just the application itself. So I just want to let you know that, yes, you can go through here, do your research, and you can apply to multiple schools, but at the same time, if you apply directly, at least I know my law school, we don't charge an application fee if you just do our online application. So this is another few research tools I wanted to give you when you're going through this process. LLMguide.com, that's if you go to that website, there's a lot of different good information for LLM students. And then, of course, you can go and do your research, individual law school websites. And then these days, social media, the law schools posting a lot of information. So be part of the social media and contact admission officers in different schools. I would really encourage you to do your homework. And today you joining this event kind of shows your, I really encourage you to attend these type of events and kind of as much as learn before you, because this is a huge investment. So I would recommend you to do your research and homework. And then, yeah, so always ask questions. I mean, Education USA, we have this in this list. Great resource, they're in your country. So have a good relationship with them and they can give unbiased advice for you, because they know, I know only about UC Davis School of Law, but they may have, they may be familiar with a lot of different other universities. So they're very resourceful. Okay, so at this point of in our presentation, since I gave a general overview, how the admission process work and the bar examinations work and how the legal education works in the US, and then some general tips how to find a LLM program that fits for you. I'm going to take like about 5 minutes to get into kind of UC Davis. Since I'm from UC Davis, I thought I will mention what is all about UC Davis and our law school. So we are part of the world-renowned University of California system, and we are 10th ranked public university in the US. And we are the largest out of 10 University of California campuses. And we have about 36,000 students and about 500 law students. Out of this 500, we have about 60 LLM students. We like to keep it small LLM program, then we can give like a personalized support for all our students. So this is a little bit of some pictures from the city Davis, California. It's safe, family friendly. We have about 68,000 residents. And if you can kind of do the math, you can see about 38,000 are college students. So this is definitely a college town. So which is very different from another, could be another university that in a city. This is majority of the people are part of the university. So that's what, if you hear the word college town, that is what that means. And highly educated population, because of course you can see 38,000 students, and then on top of that, there are professors and staff and everything, and researchers and scholars. Okay, so, and we have a Mediterranean climate, which is like everybody loved the California weather. So these are our ranking for the law school. And we are very proud of, we are the #2 most diverse law school in the country. We are very proud of that. And also we do have a general LLM, and you can customize. And then we do have 2 different intakes. We take students for August fall term, and also we take students for January intake. So there's 2 times a year. And also it's a rolling admission process. And we are right now taking applications for our fall term. So, and fall term will be in person. The students will be on campus and taking classes in person. We are right now taking applications for our fall term, which is starting this year's August, and then for January 2022. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to set up one-on-one meetings if you're planning to apply this fall and spring or in the future. We always wanted to help our students with the application process. And also we do have a broad preparation. And we also have, just like I said earlier, the 1-year and 2-year option. And these are the concentrations, specializations you can pursue at UC Davis School of Law: business law, criminal law, environment, healthcare, human rights and social justice, intellectual property, international law. So these are some of the areas. Yeah, so we do have the JD LLM integration, and UC Davis is a beautiful campus, and that we do have many student clubs and also scholarship opportunities. Just like I said, we consider your admission, the application as the same as the scholarship application. And also we are located very close to the Sacramento, which is one of the largest economy. California is one of the largest economies in the world, and Sacramento is the capital. We are about like 20-30 minutes away. And our law students have, or the LLM students have opportunities to do internships, clerkships, and our program takes students to field trips to the capital, and also like jails, prisons, and other the places our students. So it's not just classroom education. We try to bring our students to the field. And also during the summer, we normally do 2 different programs, but this summer we will be doing a legal English program. It's 2 weeks, but it's online. So if you are interested to study 2 weeks from your home country, legal English, just let me know. I'm happy to help with that process. And orientation in the US law, we are not offering this year, but we will be offering in person next year. Yeah, these are some pictures for you to see the UC Davis student life. Yeah, that's all the presentation I have, and I'm going to put my email address in the chat. So please feel free to connect with me anytime, and I'm happy to do a one-on-one meeting and kind of walk you through the application and whatever help I can do. So actually, okay, let me start out with the questions. Is that fine, Marwa? Can I go ahead and start questions?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we have somebody asking, is there scholarships discount for the legal English program? It's the price is very low for that program. Last year it was like $750 US. I'm not sure this year. We are learning this week what's the pricing. I think it will be very close to that. So because of that, we are not offering scholarships unless, like, if you're a law school with a group, we can maybe talk about it, but send me an email with your interest, and I'm happy to help you with that. And somebody asking how to book one-on-one meeting. So what you can do after this presentation, you will get an email from me that inviting for you to schedule a one-on-one meeting. So when you get that email, I think maybe tomorrow, that you can, there's a link that you can, or you can reply to that email. So you can set up a one-on-one. So you don't have to do anything right now, but when you get an email from our office, that you can just reply. Are there any online LLM programs in the US? I don't know that there's a full LLM program right now online, but I know that my law school working on an online program for future. And also right now, because of COVID, we have been doing online program, I mean, our courses, but it will change this fall. So I would recommend that you send me an email. I can keep you in the list, and when the online program in the future, when it's up, I'm happy to let you know. And then we have a question. Do I have to hold a degree in law to apply for a master's degree in law? Good question. So normally that is the case, but if you have a good explanation why you wanted to do a master's degree in law in your personal statement, we can definitely consider you. So for example, I have had a plastic surgeon, a doctor, want to apply in the past because he wanted to know about, because he's doing, I mean, he's a doctor, but he's have his own practice, and he wanted to make sure that he's aware of all the legal issues and things like that. So yeah, so we have people applying for the disciplines. Like I have had somebody, economics major or a political science, but they had some law classes they have already taken. So we will look at you, which kind of background you have, and then we will also look at what is the purpose why you want to do an LLM degree. So if you are clear in your personal statement, definitely we can consider, but we will definitely check what's your background. Will the LLM program at your school or other schools in California allow me to sit for the California State Bar examination? I can't speak for other schools, but I know that if I can speak for my law school, yes, definitely, that after our LLM program, you can sit for the bar. How good does my English have to be to enroll in the LLM program? So good question. So you have to have the English language requirements. So either TOEFL or IELTS. So we are looking at TOEFL, it's IBT 88, and the IELTS it's 6.5. But if you have done your first degree in English, we can waive the TOEFL or IELTS. But if you're in a country right now, you're not able to give TOEFL and IELTS, that please contact me. I'm happy to kind of work with you. And you wanted to apply for this fall and you're not able to take, I know that I'm working with a student from Iran that he was not able to take the test. So we are individually working with students in that situation. And also we do have I wanted to, second part of this question. So if you feel that you're not ready, you don't have these English scores, we do have that legal English program. That's something we recommend. So after you apply your TOEFL or IELTS score a little bit lower, we may give you a recommendation that you may have to study some English then before you matriculate to the LLM program. And we do have a ESL program in our university. Do LLM students, the next question, do LLM students receive help in looking for a job from their law school? Again, I can only speak for my law school. We do have a career service for the law school, and we do have a specialist that work with our LLM students to how to write the resume, how to write the cover letter, how to interview for the law for a job or an internship. And I just wanted to mention that after you finish a LLM program, that we help you to apply for a 1-year work visa, which is called OPT, Optional Practical Training. So with that, you're legally allowed to work 1 year in the US. So our career services very familiar with and our immigration officer very familiar with these the programs and help students if they wanted to stay and work for a year. Hello from Egypt. I wish you great success. Yeah, and what is required for admission into JD program? So it's the LSAT examination, and you have to have a first degree. And then it's a competitive admission process. So you have to go through the interview process. So if you go to our JD website, you can see, and it's like a process kind of, even US students, and I mean, international students can definitely apply, but they go through the process. But students who don't want to give the LSAT exam, that they come to the LLM program and then they apply to or transfer to JD. At that point, they don't have to give an LSAT. There's a question, can I discuss my personal statement? Any tips? I was right before this meeting telling our Education USA friends that we can definitely do a personal statement webinar in near future. I'm happy to look at your personal statement at that time or give tips. So we have like a whole presentation. So I'm looking forward to give that presentation to you all in the future. It could be pretty soon, as long as if there's a time availability. But just give you quick tips. Personal statement it's about you. So be authentic. It's not somebody else's. This is not your friends or family members' statement. It's yours. So talk about your personal goals and what you want to accomplish and why you want to apply to the specific law school. So I'm looking forward to give that presentation with for your region in the future. Next question, do we take LSAT examination in the US, online, or other countries? I think you can take the LSAT from anywhere. So I mean, for LLM, you don't need. So I'm not quite familiar with. I think just like the medical school exam, MCAT, LSAT is available. So I would just go to LSAT examination like online and look, is it any offering close to you home country. Can you please tell us how can we choose scholarships correctly? At least in my law school, just like I said, you apply, you submit all the documents for admissions, and we choose your application and we decide how much scholarship that we will be giving you. So let's see. Are there any entrance examinations? No, for the LLM, no, there's no entrance exam. Do all LLM programs take 1 year or 2 years? It depends. Like you can do, if you apply to my law school, you can do in 1 year or 2 years. 2 years means you take more classes and you try to maybe specialize in 2 different areas. I think, let's see. I have a few more questions. So another scholarship question. I hope I answered that question already. Yes, we do have scholarships. So, and the good news that there's nothing for you to lose, because if you apply to UC Davis Law School like today, with all the documents and you submit this week, you will learn in a week or maximum 2 weeks the decision if you have all the documents, and then you'll make an offer for admissions, and then we'll let you know what's the scholarship you will be getting. And there's no application fee if you apply directly. So that's why I said this, you're not losing anything. It's only your time just putting together the application. Yeah. So, and Education USA, they're happy to help you with LSAT questions. Yeah, I think that's all the questions. Any other questions, Laura? We are 9 o'clock, but I'm happy to stay for any other more questions. And I thank you everybody for participation, taking time out of your busy day or night. And it's 9 a.m. in my country, in my time zone. And I wanted to again give you a huge thank you to the MENA region, all the Education USA advisors. And this is like really good, great questions. And I truly appreciate all the work the Education USA do on behalf of the US schools in the field. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sumitra, for all of the questions that you have answered and for all of the information that you have shared today with our audience. And for those who are watching us right now, if you have any questions specifically about, School of Law at the University of California, Davis, please feel free to reach out to Sumitra. And if you have questions more general about studying in the US, please reach out to the Education USA advisor in your country, and you can find that using the Education USA website. Again, thank you so much, Sumitra, and thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day or your evening. Bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.